Noah, we'll start with you. Obviously, got some with the Noah Lyles comments in the 4x4. What are your thoughts with all that going on?
Yeah, man, I think there's a lot going on as far as the political scene in the 4x400 meters, starting back with the indoor season, right? So Noah basically making a claim that they put me on the 4x4. I really wanted to run it on the indoor team, and it caused a lot of controversy. A lot of people having a lot of problems with it, and people getting threatened to lose their job over the situation. And his demeanor or reaction to it is like, well, run faster and push me out of the contention, right? So my take on it, I run the 400 meter, as y'all know, right? So my take on it is, as a competitor, I'm 100% behind him. Like I can't fake the funk, right? So I looked at his indoor 400-meter split from the indoor meet, and he ran 45.68, right? On an indoor track, on a 200-meter track. Now, if you look at the times, the split times from Team USA yesterday, Ja'Cory Patterson, 45.55, Christopher Bailey, 44.66, Champion Allison, 44.98, and Bryce Deadman, 45.23. So I was always taught, from an indoor to outdoor conversion over 400 meters, especially on a split, you can cut off at least 0.8 seconds, eight tenths of a second, right? So that would already put Noah at a 44.8. So these guys that are complaining and doing this, that, and the third, or this is the 400, he's a short sprinter. Well, to be frank, just run faster, quite literally, like he said. I would like to see Noah run an open 400 so he could really put his name in the hat, or, you know what I'm saying, his name in the hat, and really like solidify, like, yeah, I ran 45 flat in the open. Now what, right? Because I think to this date, there's only been 3 Americans run sub 45, and I think that's Vernon Norwood, Michael Norman, and Bryce Deadman. There might be a couple more, maybe some collegiates that I didn't check out, but as of right now, that Team USA pool, they're not doing anything quote unquote special, right? That would put Noah out of the contention for being on the relay team. And when you look at it from a publicity standpoint, a marketing standpoint, would you put, if I'm trying to grow my brand, if I'm trying to market Team USA, if I'm trying to market track and field, do I want to put a guy that, no offense to anybody in the sport, has 3,000 followers on all social media networks, not many people know his name, and he's running 45.5 on a split? Or do I want to put probably the biggest name and face in the sport in probably the most premier event in the sport if they're going to run the same time? You dig what I'm saying? There's no way I could give the nod or the credit to a guy just because he runs the 400 as his main event. Well, Noah is running the same time as you, and he's got a bigger name. He's going to help the sport grow. He's going to help the team grow. So for all of those reasons I just mentioned, I really don't have a problem with Noah being on the 4x4. All I need from him, just run it open. I'm going to talk to him this week. I'm going to talk to Noah this week. I'll probably see him on Tuesday. I'm going to talk to Noah, and I was, we going to go be in Jamaica. You can hop in the 400 there. We be having home meets all the time. You can hop in the 400 there. I don't know how much that'll mess with his training and what he's trying to do, but if he could run an open 4, man, if that boy gets, because he could get 4 golds in Paris, man. So that would be special. So, like I said, man, that's why I don't have a problem with Noah being on this relay or even in contention for it.
All right. So I see where you're coming from. I'm gonna take the other side of things real quick. So, like, I get the star power of it. Like, he's the biggest name in the sport right now. Definitely on the men's side of things in the U.S. And I don't think it's like very close, like, to who the next person is. And so I get that. Where I'm seeing it from is determining. So what is, like, when you're putting people on relays, what's most important? Like, are we going to just put, like, hey, who shows on paper who are the 4 best and most qualified people on that relay? Or are we going to put, like, who has the bigger, star power onto this? We've seen this with relays in the past. Like, this isn't new, and I recognize it. Like, in the Olympics in 2021, they put Allison Felix on that 4x4 over was it Irby, I think, who actually won USA. So you have the US champion not actually in the 4x4, which is wild. Same here, where Noah was on the 4x4, and the individual, I can't remember his name, who actually won at USA's, he wasn't on it. Now, he also didn't perform very well. He didn't make it to the final in the Open 400 the day before. But it's what I'm seeing is like, so you have these people that have ran the 400 already. They've shown that they put in the work in the actual championship. And so it's like they have a spot. Like they should be able to be on this team. It's like, yeah, run faster. But it's like, hey, we actually at least we ran the event. So it's like, you're telling me to run faster, but you ain't even run the event. How can I run faster when you ain't even run it? So it's like, where do I have to go? What do I have to do to be able to be on this team? And so it's like, yeah, I get that he's the biggest name, and he's like, you want to like bring more eyes to the 4x4. You want to put him on there, but at the end of the day, it's like he ain't run the Open 4, like you said. So it's like, hey, if you ran it, if we've seen you run an Open 4, we know what you've done, then all right, cool, I got it. Like we've seen it, but he ain't even run it yet.
Yeah, I get it. And shout out to Brian Foss, because I did think that he got slighted, and shout out to Lena, she got slighted as well when that happened. Maybe so with that corruption of like the selection and everything. I think that the US champ in the 400 should absolutely have a lock on the relay. Like, despite what happens in the finals or whatever, if you won USA's, like you proved that you're the best 400-meter runner in America at that time. So you definitely should be on the relay. So I did feel bad for Brian when it happened, but I still didn't think that you had to compromise Noah being on there. Like, and I'm not even saying it because I know, bro. Like, I see the talent field and I see what's going on right now, and he's right there with everybody else. So I think that, it's not that big of a deal. But now that we on the topic though, who would you put on your US men's 4x4 to go win a gold in Paris? We see those boys in Botswana are running fast. The South Africans are running fast. So who would you put right now on the US men's 4x4 to go and beat those guys?
Yeah. Right now, I think the two like solidified spots I feel are definitely Michael Norman as well as Rai Benjamin. I think those are two that should, in my opinion, no-brainers to be on the team. And I'm barring injury. I'm not, because I know Michael Norman was injured so I'm assuming that everyone's healthy. I'm not going to assume people aren't healthy. So I'd say those two are the first ones that come to mind. And then I think those next two spots are a little bit more difficult. Vernon has proven to be a consistent 400-meter leg. Like he's been doing it for a little while now. So he's proven to be on that leg. And the fourth spot can be a little bit of a wild card. I think like there's a couple college kids. I know Ahmad Robinson has shown to be really well. I mean, shoot, you got Quincy Wilson. Like you have there's a legitimate debate that Quincy, a 16-year-old kid, might be able to be on this 400, the 4x4. It is a possibility. He just ran a 45-17. We'll get into, I'm sure we'll talk about it later, but it's like there's a possibility of that. Another wild card, I guess you could say, and I like to see how he does because he was injured all of last year, is Michael Cherry. I know he was on that 4x4 at the Olympics, so like he's someone where I want to see how he comes back from the injury that he had, because he was very talented and did really well in 2021. So those are some of the initial names, because we've got a couple of the other 400 names. I guess like Deadman could be in there. I think I mentioned that. Yeah, Deadman could be in there. But then there's a couple big names that are out. I know you're out right now. We had Randolph Ross. He's out until 2025. So it's like we have some of these big 400-meter people. Fred Curley doesn't run the 400 anymore. So there's a lot of people like, hey, what's it going to be? I mean, so could Noah Lyles be in there? Yeah, of course. Could you throw Grant Holloway in that 4x4? I mean, he's definitely talked about wanting to be on a relay as well. So I think there's a lot of people that could be on that short list of who's going to be there.
Yeah, definitely a lot of names. You named 2 locks. I think it's 3 locks. So my pop-off leg is going to be Bryce Devin. Bryce is my pop-off. My anchor is Rye Benjamin. Okay, Rye going to bring it home. Now, the 2 and the 3 spots, I think, could be very interchangeable, but Norman's going to take one of those spots. Now, depending on who your 4th guy is going to determine where I'm putting Norman. If I got Noah, I might throw Noah on the 2nd leg. It's a big leg. It's an important leg. But with his 200-meter speed, like, I would lean to put Noah on the 2nd leg, throw Norman on the 3rd, anchor Rye, gold medal in Paris. That's how I see it. And if it's not going to be Noah in the mix, I would either put Vernon or Elijah Godwin in that mix there. So I see Elijah train every day, and that boy is nice. Mm-hmm. That boy is nice. So that's kind of my 4 to 6 guys that I'll put in the top contention. Obviously, I don't want to disrespect anybody else, but the way that I see it right now, those are like the coldest, strongest, most consistent 400-meter runners that we got right now to represent the country for a relay.
Yeah, I see it. Like, I think there's all good people. It's like that 4th spot, I think, like, because it's so close right now. Like you were mentioning, like, hey, the state of where this 4x4 is, like, there's a lot of individuals that are in that, same kind of, I guess what low 45s, high 44s, right in that time frame, where like you said, there's probably 5 other people that you could be putting on that thing. A lot of them that'll be on, whether it be a mixed relay or doing the 400 hurdles. So it's a lot of really talented individuals. Before we go off this, I got to throw to you. So you were on the was it the World Indoors 2023? Was it
22? Yeah,
22.
Yeah,
22. All right. Imagine that this was this past year, and Noah, they were like, "Hey, look, we're putting Noah Lyles on this team. Noah, sorry, you're not going to be on this 4x4." What would your thoughts have been if that was the situation where, hey, your spot's getting taken? So you were saying, hey, you're cool with it, but what if it's
what?
Guy?
I could do one better. So on the 2022 year, I also made the outdoor team, right? And I was slated to run the 4x4 prelim, getting ready, warming up with the guys, you know what I'm saying? And coach pulled me aside. He said, look, we're going to put Trevor on the relay, Trevor Bassett. I said, okay, all right, that's cool. He a 400 hurdler. I got respect for Trevor. I'm cool with Trevor. You know what I'm saying? But I had to look at it like, okay, this is a coach's decision. They feel as though no matter what I did at the trials, I think I got like 6th place at trials, so I made the team. And I had to come to myself like, Noah, you allowed yourself to give them an opportunity to put somebody over you, if that makes sense. Had I ran 43.8, it would have been no debate. Noah, you're on the relay, right? But I left it questionable. I might have ran like 45 flat or 45.2, something like that. I think it was 45.05. So I left a question mark like, he's ran 45 flat, but we think Trevor could do that too. So we're going to put Trevor. And same thing, Noah ran 45 flat. I think Noah Lyles can run 45 flat, so we could put him on there. But if I'm running 44 flat, 44.2, there's no debating, right? So I looked at it like, okay, this might be a little bit of a political game, but at the end of the day, if I ran faster, if I control what I could control better, it's nothing they could do to slight me. That's kind of my thing about it, right? 400-meter guys, you mad? Run faster. Quite literally, run faster, So, yeah, that was my actual real life reaction. I was obviously upset. Everybody wanted to represent the country and stuff, especially when you think you is, doing interviews preemptively and all this stuff. And then, you're not on it. It's like, that's kind of like a test as a man too. Like, how you going to react as an athlete? You can't let that stuff kind of overcome your being and overcome your energies.